So hello my fellow Chelsea. Today we are talking strictly about Enzo Maresca because things are getting quite heated right now, no denials. Now it's going to be quite a long video, but I'm going to keep it as short as possible. This is Football with Words. Here we talk strictly about Chelsea and we banter everyone else whenever we feel like it. So it started off as Maresca admitting that since he joined the club, he said, "Since I joined the club, the last 48 hours have been the worst since I joined the club because many people didn't support us." And this was immediately after our win against Everton. And it happens to be concerning because we just won a football game. This is supposed to be us getting back to winning ways. This is supposed to be us waking up. So why is Maresca bringing up something like this? Now we move on. He said, "I had the feeling people did not support me or the team in general. I do love the fans, very happy with them." So Maresca is making it clear that this is actually not about us. So if it is not about us, then who is it about? So now let's move on. This is from Ben Jacobs. He said, "Enzo Maresca has an internal issue at Chelsea and his frustration has been brewing for a while. It is understood Maresca was surprised at the lack of support after the defeat to Atlanta." So honestly, there was a lot of backlash after the defeat to Atlanta because it was clearly a game that we had in our hands. It is not a game we were supposed to lose. It was a game that in the first half, we were in full control. We were dealing with literally everything Atlanta were throwing in our way. However, he just happened to make a few changes that disrupted the pattern and the control of the game, and we ended up losing that game. So understandably, it came with a lot of backlash from a lot of us. I'm not going to deny it. Even I was critical of how Maresca handled that game. However, I still think it is one of those things. Enzo Maresca is a young manager. He's still dealing with the squad, and he's actually done an amazing job with the squad. Let's not deny that. However, it is now obvious that he sees it. He sees the lack of support, and right now he's not sending the message to us, the fans. So who is he sending the message to? Let's move on. Breaking. The Chelsea boss is believed to understand the logic of Chelsea's rotation policy and also want to ease the burden on certain players. But when the chopping and changing backfires, including the loss to Leeds, he feels he's being scapegoated, often via the media, despite rotation being a core part of Chelsea's strategy. Something that's encouraged, not simply done out of necessity. Maresca has also had to deal with the long-term absence of Leverkusen due to an ACL injury and said publicly he wanted another defender over the summer, but Chelsea's recruitment team decided against it. And Kopama has been absent with a groin injury in recent weeks, while Moses Caicedo missed the Everton game. Maresca feels like when form dips, those mitigating circumstances aren't always appreciated. And if we want to be honest, I think Maresca just has to accept that this all comes with the job. These are the things that he has to do with. Let's take injuries, for example. Anyone can do with injuries. And yes, indeed, he did ask for a defender when we lost Leverkusen, because all of us know that Leverkusen is the one who marshals the Chelsea backline. He's the leader in that backline. And him not being around has been a huge miss, undeniably. Same thing goes to Kopama's creativity in the final third. And also the absence of Moses Caicedo. I just think these are the things that comes with the game, and Maresca has to accept it. However, right now he's feeling like he deserves more support, and clearly so. I think he really does. So I don't know how they are letting this situation spiral out of control. I hope it doesn't. I really hope they get their selves together and fix it. because right now I'm struggling to understand why this is the right time for such outbursts. Now let's move on. Maresca's comments and internal issue will prompt further conversations as all parties try and get on the same page. Exactly what I was saying, because I feel like this is the wrong time to be letting something like this get in the middle of both the fans, the players, the hierarchy. Everybody, just we have to come together and get on the same page. And let's move on. Chelsea's owners remain calm after Maresca's surprise outburst, expecting him to stress that there is no specific issue with an owner or sporting director, and believe he has adapted well since joining from Leicester City in summer 2024. The Italian will be reviewed this summer as part of a pre-planned and two-way assessment. Reviewed. Reviewed. That word is a word that I think it just comes down to the obvious power that the owners have. And even though I think, talking about review, the directors have quite a lot to answer also. And Maresca, like we said, is obviously being scapegoated, and that's just one of those things that comes with the job. It takes a lot of critical thinking for you to think about it, that the directors have to also take some criticism, and they also have to accept certain responsibilities. Like we said, Maresca asked for a defender, he didn't give him a defender. However, let's put that aside and let's move on to the next. It has been made clear to Enzo Maresca that Chelsea's youth-led model won't dramatically change because it is backed by the hierarchy and starting to bear fruit. Ed Barley, along with sporting directors Stewart and Wayne Stanley, believe the project is starting to pay off. Talking about the sporting directors. Stewart and Wayne Stanley, they believe the project is starting to pay off. I think that's the question for you guys. Do you think the project is starting to pay off? Now let's move on. Maresca on his 48-hour comment. He said, I already spoke about that and I don't have nothing to add. It's Cardiff tomorrow. Please, I already spoke about that and I think I was quite clear. No more than that. Maresca is just being coy. He's making his messages clear and he's making his messages subtle. He doesn't want to overdo it. He doesn't want to overcomplicate things. He's just making sure he's getting his messages across to the board and also across to us, the fans. Then he also said, I respect your opinion and people's opinion. I have nothing to add. My focus is on tomorrow's game and achieving the third semi-final in my time at the club. So this is us being honest. We can't deny the fact that Maresca has done quite well, because when you think about it, this is the third semi-final at the club and he has gone on to qualify for the last two and went on to win them, talking about the Conference League and the Club World Cup. Now he's trying to achieve another semi-final. So we shouldn't dispute the fact that, personally, I think Maresca is doing a fair enough job. I think he's doing a good job. If I want to exaggerate, which I don't think I am, I think he's actually doing a fantastic job with the squad right now. So personally, I think it's only fair that we give him quite a bit of patience. So let's move on to the next. Maresca was asked, are you happy with people saying you have bad relationships with the sporting directors and owners? He said, I said after the game that I love Chelsea supporters. They deserve the best. Again, I have nothing to add. Like we said, he's keeping things cool and he's keeping things less complicated. And then he was asked, are you committed to being Chelsea coach? And he said, absolutely yes. Then, why did you say what you said, Maresca? He said, I can speak Italian, my language, I can speak Spanish very well, French, English. I think I was clear with what I said. It is done. It is finished. It was after the game. I said what I said and it is done. Let me know what you think about Maresca's comments down below. Now they said Maresca is obviously getting annoyed. He said Cardiff tomorrow, please, because the questions kept coming and the questions were centered around a particular subject, and he just wanted us to move on. Maresca says again, it will be the third semi-final since he joined the club. If we win tomorrow, add it is a dangerous game, but things were getting better and better in his opinion. And like we said, obviously, we can't deny the fact that Chelsea are getting better and better. If you think the club are actually regressing, let me know down below, even though I don't support that opinion, but let me know and let me know why you think that way. Maresca still has a great question from the media. They asked him positive and negatives of being Chelsea coach, and he said, I think a lot of positive things for sure, and he kept it simple. Maresca also said, he said, I love the Chelsea support, they deserve the best. When I want to say something, I am quite clear, we need to move forward. Maresca keeps reiterating that this is not about us, he appreciates us the fans, and he loves the support that we give the team, he loves the support that we give them. However, he made his points, and everybody clearly knows that his comments were directed at the sporting directors and possibly the owners too. And PYS went on to say, win, lose or draw, I am behind you, Gaffer. When I believe in a manager, you have shown me a lot of reasons to back him. I will. I do not want to see another change in manager in the summer and another reset of the same circle. Put your ego aside and let him work. Maresca is the scapegoat and no one is held accountable. There is a bigger picture at play here, and I totally agree with everything they have said. CFC Daily tweeted, I will continue to criticize when he gets it wrong. I will continue to praise when he gets it right. But there is one thing right now that we as a club don't need, and that's a managerial change with the same sporting structure. When you look at the options alongside Maresca, the last time we were in the manager market, some of the names were frightening. If you move on from Maresca, you have to guarantee the next one is an upgrade. If Maresca is replaced, they can't expect the fans to be patient for whoever would come in next. Chelsea need to be ready to be win ASAP, and it is quite clear what he has said, because yes, anybody that is coming in has to be a clear upgrade. You can't tell us we'll be starting a whole process, a whole new style of play. So yes, like I said, I am fully backing Maresca. Let me know what you think down below. Do you think we will be in support of a managerial change at the end of the season, or do you think we should back Maresca down all the way? Sources believe Enzo Maresca has become fed up of having to explain himself internally at Chelsea and is doubting whether those in control really trust him. This is from Matt Law, so we know that is actually a reliable source. And when we think about it, truly, I'm sure Maresca is right to have these doubts, because if you want him to work, then you have to trust him and let him do his job. You have to trust him, because whether you like it or not, this is actually the second year of the Maresca project. So why are we putting him in such uncomfortable positions to be answering to every bad result? Bad results happen in football. The bad results are a part of football. These things happen. You don't expect to win every game. As long as the team is getting better and better, improving, that's what matters. Now, I said Maresca is believed to have wanted more protection from figures within Chelsea against criticism of his team selection and rotation during their recent 4-game winless run. He is encouraged to heavily rotate to help develop young players. Maresca feels he has outperformed other managers who have faced the rebuilding job when joining a major Premier League force, such as Mikel Arteta at Arsenal, Jurgen Klopp previously at Liverpool, and even Ruben Amorim at Manchester United. Amorim has received strong public backing despite his struggles, and yes, Maresca is quite right. It took Mikel Arteta quite a number of years to get Arsenal become a proper team, to get Arsenal firing. Also, it took Jurgen Klopp even way longer, and Ruben Amorim was shit for a long time. Permit my language. So when we think about it, I don't think there has been any cause for concern. I don't think there has been any cause for the level of pressure you are trying to put on Enzo Maresca. which is why I implore all Chelsea fans to be quite a bit patient. Now, Jamie Carragher said, Maresca comments that ain't uncertain. He's talking about the owner and sporting director, just as we said. This is a classic case of accepting the job terms and conditions. Then he does really well and feels like he should have more power. He's calling something out. They didn't get him a centre back. The problem is if he continues this way, there is only one winner, and that's not him. This is something that we have to be honest about. The owners are the owners, the word owners. And if Maresca keeps calling them out, if he keeps trying to pick up a fight, obviously there's only one winner. And Oliver Giroud also said, I think Chelsea needs some more time to fight for title race. They are very happy to have Kopama back. I think maybe they need a new number 9 to win them things as score more goals. This is just so obvious because right now, João Pedro and Liam Delap are obviously struggling in the number 9 position. They don't seem to be giving us the quality and the consistency we need from a number 9 that makes you challenge for games, that makes you challenge for titles. And I think right now, Oliver Giroud is absolutely spot on. And Carragher said, Maresca is capable of competing at the very highest level. What is done with the squad is fantastic because they are nowhere near them other top 3 clubs. It can go up against every manager. Now, Chelsea might feel that they could go and get a better manager, but let me tell you, they could easily go and get someone worse. Look at what's happened at Spurs and Manchester United in the last couple of years. Exactly what we are saying. I don't think it is a good idea to just take the risk. And let me know down below, do you think there's a manager out there that can do a better job than Enzo Maresca? Do you think there's a manager out there that can actually take Chelsea to a higher level? Let me know down below. And from that, we'll be bringing ahead to the video. Catch me later. Like, subscribe. Next video, we'll be talking about the Chelsea versus Cardiff game. That's going to be a big game because we know it's a game that we must win. The Carabao Cup is a cup that we have to compete in. We have to get to the semi-final where we begin to meet the big boys. And with that, I'll bring an end to this video. Thank you guys for staying with me. I appreciate you guys.